Okay, Bacon's having tech issues, but I'm going to ask him anyway. Is IQ by Corsair the worst software ever created? It never
It's
works.
heinous.
I don't understand. They make such great hardware, their RAM, their cases, etc., etc. But for some reason, IQ is just absolutely an abomination that
And
doesn't work.
it's
My RAM
resource
is
heavy.
flashing.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's not responding. I hate it.
Yes.
Hate
It's worse than
Corsair's
Elgato software.
Oh, much.
The Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast.
Is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days.
Hosted by a group of best friends. If you'd like to find out more, visit nerdchatmedia.com.
This is Cortana. And remember, don't make a girl a promise if you know you can't keep it. As always, Spartans, see you online.
Oh, hello. Daddy Diwali here. Welcome to the Nerd Chat, an Xbox podcast.
Again.
Celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. My name is Daddy Diwali, and tonight we're going to be talking about our AI overlords, PlayStation betas on an Xbox show. What the heck? What was the other thing?
Xbox into AI?
I said AI overloads.
Canon mode.
Xbox canon mode.
Okay, and joining me as always is Chipotle Bear. Jose, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I was telling
Wait. He is burning through controllers. I did not read this. Please give us your controller update. What the hell is going on over there? Or do you want to save it?
We'll talk about it when we get to the game stuff. When I say burning, I don't mean destroying. I mean trying and returning. We'll talk more about that later. Doing fine, man. It has been honestly a pretty not super awesome week in my household. Everybody is sick, and at work, everybody's losing their minds. And I am really excited to be on spring break in about a week. So other than that, man, excited to talk about some games. I've been loving Avowed. We'll talk more about that later, but happy to be here, bud.
And joining us is, I am shocked he's here, you guys. We are having serious tech issues. Tech sucks. Let's hear it, X Bacon Gaming.
All right, gentlemen, with the fear of more tariffs coming, I set out and embarked upon my journey. I got to Micro Center at like 6:30 in the morning in the cold, 40 mile an hour winds, froze my tatas off. And I have a 5090 here in my possession.
Look at that.
Look at that thing.
And I was so excited. I come home.
Bigger than a Series X.
I run some benchmarks. I put it all together. Nothing works. I'm booting into a black screen. I'm like, what is going on? Of course, I get into Reddit, and apparently it's quite common. And I can't get the drivers. So everyone that complains about drivers, Luke, I think Luke's our big driver fan.
Is Luke our driver fan?
So, or is it Joe that's always complaining about it? Someone's complaining about
Maybe
drivers.
it's Luke.
It's Joe.
And I have had to install and uninstall this card 15 times in the last 2 nights. I've played 0 games. I think I finally have the drivers. I did a DDU and had to boot into safe mode and turn off all my internet to try to stop Windows from forcing general VGA drivers on me. And I have the correct drivers, the brand new beta drivers that just dropped. So hopefully Monday I'll be able to reinstall this and actually play some games on it. But last night at about 11:45, I'm like, I need to reinstall the 4090 so I can freaking podcast tomorrow because the computer just barely runs. And I've been playing on PC since 2008, and I've never seen this before.
Oh, no. I feel bad because Bacon didn't mention he has a Zotac Gaming GPU.
It's got an infinity mirror on it.
And
Right here.
it looked cool. I'll have to show us
dope.
that video. I also have a
Plate on
Zotac
this thing
Gaming.
the backplate is insane.
I have a 4080 Super by Zotac Gaming, and it's been incredible. So I feel bad for Bacon.
I've never had
having
this
so many
problem.
issues.
I've traded GPUs so many times.
Shout out to the chat who's also here. Shout out to Game Positive, of course. He's got to bring in his Sony Pony report. And he said Dan has more platinums than I do. Thanks, Eric, as always. PS5 fanboy, Eric #1. Shout out to, I want to say, Gentle Stone, the Nerd Chat, a gaming podcast. PCMR number 4 ever. You got that right. And joining us as always, Istanbul is Constantinople, Bubble Boy, and Seven.
Yeah, do you know that song? Anybody? Istanbul.
Is this an Assassin's Creed Mirage reference?
It's so funny. As I'm playing this game, Revelations, not Mirage, I'm like, it took me like 5 hours in because I kept thinking there was like 2 different cities. I was like, well, that has to be Istanbul, but that they say it's Constantinople. So I'm at work the next day, and Lana, her husband's from Turkey, and she was in Istanbul not long ago. And I was like, did you know that Istanbul and Constantinople are the same thing? And then they all just start laughing. And I'm singing this song in my head. I'm like, and I couldn't remember what the first part of it is, but the song is Istanbul is Constantinople. And there's the answer right there. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then one of our history teachers gave me a lesson on why that happened. So
Yeah, was it like a change in empire or something like that?
and predominant religion and all that kind of stuff. But I got to say, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later. I did at Revelation a long time ago, and it might be
Hey, Bubble Boy, are you in your private jet again? You're kind of
I
breaking
did
up.
not hear
there.
any of what you just said.
son of a biscuit. We'll get to it later. It couldn't have been that.
Okay. Yeah, you're breaking up. Why don't you go ask the flight attendant there what's going on with the internet? Guys, Jose, let's jump into Nerd Chat shoutouts. Okay, I'm not going to lie, you guys. I appreciate everyone being here for episode 200, but I'm a little...
Oh,
You're
Dan
a little
froze.
what? He's
Dance on the wall.
he's a little shaken up. He's so shaken up.
Thought he
that
paused for effect there.
froze. Yeah.
I'm assuming he's gonna.
Am I back?
You're
Yeah,
back.
you are now.
All right.
Big Box 1431. What the hell, man? What the...
I'm a man. I'm 40.
We were cheering for your Bills. We were celebrating the Chiefs. Have we heard back from him since the Kansas City
Yeah.
Buffalo lost? Have we?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Either way, I'm disappointed in you, Big Box. Get your ass over here. Shout out to Luke Lore, aka at Xbox Expansion Pass. Great episode, guys. Congratulations on 200 episodes. Shout out on TikTok. I can't believe it. Sony Pony #1, Game Positive. I just increased your subscriber count by 33%. And shout out to Cash Money on Avowed Open World. This is the most paid review I've ever seen. Not once has a gamer said they like Open Zone versus Open World. Wow.
Fun fact: we're absolutely not paid. In fact, we're way in the red.
we are
not
paying everyone else for exposure. So shout out Cash Money. You like Open World. Cool. I am sick of Open World. I don't have hundreds of hours. Apparently I do, because as you can see, I spent 75 hours in Avowed, but we can talk about that later.
And shout out to Treen, because on Cash Money's comment, he was
Treen
backing us up.
17.
Yeah, he was saying no. Everybody was saying that they really liked the zone stuff. So shout out to Treen, man. Much appreciated.
Hey, it's Big Box.
Wow, live update from Big Box 1431. LOL, I posted you guys a message. I don't know why it doesn't show. I would never miss an episode 200 or 200. Shout out to Big Box live in the chat. He's probably getting his giant pump and swell on over at the gym right now. Shout out to Big Box 143. Did you see it? Just says Big Box now. That's kind of cool. It doesn't have his numbers and everything.
I like it.
Official name change there. Shout out to Big Box. We miss you, brother. Also, for real though, shout out to Todd, shout out to Eric, shout out to MKen10 for joining us last week. That was a great episode. I really enjoyed it, and I posted that clip of me crying today to Morden. Opposite of a shout out, a permaban shout out to our real nerd chat not responding to the Morden video. What the hell is that, you guys?
nothing.
Do they
Including
even have fun anymore over
I don't
there?
know.
Like us.
Yeah, I'm over that. Okay, I'm done texting them. So shout out to the real ones over here in the chat. Right.
Our real friends.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, they are our real friends, but I don't want to discount our other friends who are just a bunch of Debbie Downers. Shout out to the chat who's in here now. Guys, I'd like to introduce a new segment. And this is inspired by our good friends over at Last Stand Media, specifically Summon Sign. I don't know if you guys have caught Summon Sign over there with Brad Ellis. He's the host over there. And it's basically more of a focused gaming talk show. They talk about games they're playing specifically. But they've got a great segment called Sort It Out, where they say They complain basically about something that's bothering them in the gaming space. So we are literally
I
going to
think that's a new segment for us.
It's a new segment I'm starting right now. Ours is going to be called Permaban.
Bacon plays PlayStation games.
Thank you, Jose. You knew it. Welcome to Permaban /GGs. So I'll go first. My first Permaban goes to Obsidian. Obsidian, what's with these glitched achievos? I know we don't play games for achievements, but I have a bounty that's not dropping it. Jose somehow has it. I have another quest that doesn't pop up. You had extra time to finish this game, so I'm giving a permaban to Obsidian. Who would like to go next? Bacon, I know you've got an easy permaban this week. Oh, wait, Bubble Boy's raising it. Bubble Boy, let's hear your permaban this
I'm
week.
only going to say this because I am 9,000% sure she'll never watch the show, but I'm permabanning my wife's farting. She does it about
Good one.
once every 1,000 farts that I let off. She did it tonight right after dinner, and Cora was like, "Oh, Mom," she's like, "Daddy does it 100 times a minute, but his don't smell like that."
Same thing happened to Allie one time, Chance.
And I'm like,
Exact
"It's
same.
true. It's
Maddie still brings it up to this day because Allie went in her room and farted, and Maddie walked in and like, "Oh my gosh, Mom!" And like to this day, she'll still bring it up. Remember that fart you did? Yes. By the way, this segment is sponsored by Mamitas. Just so everyone knows, I caught the reference. Shout out to Game Positive. We're trying. Do you mind, Jose, if we do a new segment sponsored by Mamitas?
I don't know what mamitas are.
I don't
but
either.
Sure.
Sound tasty.
Okay. It's everybody go watch Sunday Sunday Conversation with Kayla Presley on Barstool Sports. Bacon, let's hear your permaban for this week.
I have a permaban for the tech industry in general. If you're going to charge me an arm and a leg for an item, make sure it works.
Let's go. And Jose, what's your permaban for this week?
What's the GG's element of this?
You
so
just
I
wait.
understand.
Just wait.
Oh,
I'll
that's coming.
explain.
I didn't know
Yes.
if it was an either or.
It's a two-part segment. Yes.
My permaban goes to. I'm going to say the Razor Wolverine 3, which is what we're going to talk about later on. I thought I loved this controller.
I want to permaban that too.
I thought I loved it until I played COD with it, and
I told you, dude.
I literally was having like wrist issues.
Too many paddles.
No, it's not the paddle. I love the paddles actually.
Okay, the
paddles
short
are best
nubs.
part. It is the short nubs. It literally hurt my hands, and I don't think I have like freakishly big hands or anything like that.
Perfect.
I just
wow.
I just do not like
you.
it. Do not.
Bacon,
like
I've been
it.
using these claws too.
Oh, they're great, aren't
Oh
they?
God! Stop! Shout out
even
to
use
Game
the
Positive. Game Positive said Dan is my spirit animal. He's a cultured. Eric, we were supposed to be
Are they?
brothers in arms, but you keep bringing up the Sony pony nonsense. You were the chosen one.
I also have another permaban.
All right, let's hear it because my son's up here. I got to beat him.
Oh,
I'm going to permaban the gaming media for not spotlighting more layoffs at Sony when
yeah.
Xbox has them. It's the end of the world, but Sony lays off more. I guess it shows that console sales are not everything, gentlemen.
Ooh, I like what Nissa just said. She said permaban people that can't just enjoy the game for a game. That is a good one, Nissa. Like just
It's fair.
stop complaining, dude. Have fun out there. If you don't like it, move on. It's fine. Just
And
saying.
I don't know what GGs are. I think we're about to find out.
We're about to find out. It's shout out. Yeah, dude, Nissa.
Wait, Jose.
That's
did
a
Jose
permaban indefinitely to all these whiny gamers. But go ahead, Jose.
No, that was it. I don't know what GGs are.
Oh wait, what was your permaban?
what's your
Sorry, I missed
permaban?
that. Yeah.
Oh, it was
Steve
the
Wolverine.
controller.
Oh, the
for big
Wolverine.
games.
That's right. That's
And
right.
See, I
small
forgot
nubs.
about it because it was such a terrible take.
Okay.
Shout out to Jam Pack Sam. Jam Pack Sam, did you get your new GPU?
Was he in line for one too?
I mean, hopefully he got a 5080. I mean, he should have
Or was
just. I
he
mean,
doing
at
the
this
XP?
point, he's like a 3060. He should just get a 9070 XT,
9700
right? Bacon?
XT.
Right?
And that 9700 XT.
If he can't get any of the, if he can't get a 5080,
Dude,
he
there
might
are
as well.
still like 300 of those at our Micro Center right now.
Exactly.
Where?
This goes back to what I was saying. No matter how great of a product AMD makes GPU wise, they're the Xbox of consoles. Nobody cares how good it is, and they're going to buy the PlayStation Nvidia. But anyway, shout out to Game Positive as well. I would like to permaban American men's Four Nations hockey team and a GG, the Canadian men's Four Nations championship winning
We're going to war
team.
with
The
Canada.
DualSense never hurt your hands? You mean this DualSense, Todd?
DualSense is terrible.
This is the only controller that's ever made my hands
It's a horrible controller.
hate that thing. Thank you, based jam pack Sam. This Jose breaking update.
Exclusive world premiere.
Jam pack Sam did get and installed his 9070 XT based jam pack Sam. I'm happy for you. Big upgrade from this 3000 series. Excellent update. Yes, Nissa, I forgot to send you that.
You jam packed.
I know, Nissa. Remind me later, Nissa. I actually had it up, and then I wanted to make sure that I didn't already have a Starfield Steelbook, so I don't. So I'll get back to you on that, Nissa. All right, so now the opposite of permaban is GG's. Good game. So my GG for the week, Obsidian Entertainment. Obsidian, I spent 75 hours in Avowed, and I was wowed by Avowed. I loved every second in my game. I got 940 out of 1,000 Achievos, minus the 2 glitched ones that we permabanned just a moment ago. I absolutely love Avowed. I enjoyed this much more than I did over the Outer Worlds. We'll get more into that later. Jose, what's your GGs for the week?
That's a good question. I'm going to give my GGs to the folks over at Black Ops 6 for the Ninja Turtle event.
Oh, that's another great one. That is a great one.
Like I understand that it's absurd on a lot of levels. Like I really, really do. And I understand that there's a lot of people upset about how far COD has moved away from just like the military aspect of the game, because the skins, they're absurd, right? The rainbow chameleon and the unicorn, and like I get it. But dude,
they nailed it with the turtles.
They did with the turtles.
Dude.
They nailed it with the sayings, with the loadouts, with the
weapons.
The first night that it happened, it was after the show last week.
Assassinations.
Chance went to bed, as he should have. And then literally the three of us got on, and we got our first win with all three of us on the screen. And we all did it was really rad, man. Like I honestly felt like a kid gaming again, where it was like, I wish I didn't have to go to work tomorrow, because I would have just stayed up literally until my eyes were bleeding, basically. But it was a lot of fun, man. And we can argue about the prices and all the other stuff, but I genuinely just had a great time. Like, shout out to Black Ops 6.
I completely agree. GG's, Activision, and the TMNT Dumbles, they are absolutely fantastic. I love my raffle. And by the way, guys, I got, no big deal, Dark Matter camo skin for my side.
I got the gold on the skateboard. I was beating people down with that skateboard.
Dark Matter, Raphael size. Okay. Bubba Boy, what's your GGs for the week?
Oh my god, I just drew a blank. Go to Bacon.
Okay, Bacon, what's your GG? Do you have any GGs?
I do. I have a GG for tech support channels on YouTube who do tutorials on how to do things you've never done before. And it's still not working for me, but I do know how to do some stuff I've never tried to do before.
Nice.
And hopefully it will work. And I'll have this 5090 running, because most people would just return it, but it was too hard to get. I have 30 days to fight this bad boy, and I will fight it for all 30 of them.
And Bubble Boy, what's your GG?
Yes, sorry, I totally blanked. GG's to Mel Robbins and her new book, Let Them. I wonder if Nissa might know what this is, but it's basically it's not like a self-help book, but it's a theory about just when things piss you off, like she was saying, like people who are upset about everything, let them be upset. And don't let it get to you. Like, you get to choose how you react to them being upset. So I always, every time she says let them, in my head, I say fuck them. And
how's it?
Gum, yeah. And it just makes me feel good. It really does. Nice. Like it's a powerful thing. So check out that book.
One more permaban. Permaban to IQ Software by Corsair. Absolute trash, Corsair. You make great products. Get this together.
What is the IQ Software? What is it?
It's to like control your RAM lighting, all of your your fans, all that crap. You need it for the SCUF Envision Pro, which
has monitoring software.
I think I'm going to get the SCUF Envision Pro again, you guys. I think I'm going to give it another shot. Just saying.
It's got
Fun
that
fact,
terrible
I don't use any RGB on my rig. Did you know that? Everything is turned off or unplugged.
Jose, well, I like having the options. All right, let's jump into Xbox news for the week, Jose.
News team, assemble!
News story number one. I kind of put this in late, and it actually got me thinking, because shout out to Handsome Phantom podcast. I was listening to them, and they brought this up. We're going to talk about some Steam Deck and other handheld PC sales. I can't remember if any other shows were talking about this, but basically, this is coming from PC World. This is the first one that came up when I Googled it. The Verge commissioned IDC research into handheld PC sales for 2022 and 24 and estimates sales for this year. According to the projections, the combined sales of the Steam Deck, Lenovo Legion Go, Asus, I'm so sick of people saying ROG Ally, ROG Ally, all the models, the MSI Claw was approximately 6 million units sold and projected for under 2 million for 2025. Guys, when you hear that only out of combined Steam Deck, RGLA, et cetera, handheld PCs being sold 6 million compared to the 150 million Nintendo Switches sold, what stands out to you? Bubble Boy, do you think this makes sense? I remember Todd last week saying where can you buy the Steam Deck? Only on Steam. Have you seen a Steam Deck ad, et cetera, et cetera? Is 6 million okay to you?
Yeah, it's the price point thing, right? I think if they sold the Steam Deck at the same price that they sold the Nintendo Switch, you'd see a whole lot more of them being flying off the shelves. And I get it, like that. Price
you really
point
think it's just price point? Because you can get some of these refurbished for like $300 to $400 or new. I bought my Legion Go $400 to brand new. That's the same as the Switch almost,
but it's not, right? It's still that Switch Lite, what is that, like 250 200? Yeah, like I really do think it's about price point. I love it. I'm excited. I don't think it's so few that they're gonna stop doing them. I am at a point in my life where I can afford one, and I love it. I absolutely love that I have it. I don't play it all the time, but when I do, it's perfect situation for so many different times in my life that I hope these numbers are impressing somebody.
Jose, what do you think? Is this first of all, your just reaction to those numbers, and second of all, do you think this helps or hurts Xbox getting into the handheld business? 6 million sold for a dedicated hardcore handheld device? I don't know, guys.
Well, so I have a couple of thoughts on this about the Xbox thing. I don't think that Xbox is going for a hardcore handheld. Like, I want to be very clear about that. I think they're doing a handheld.
Interesting.
I think they're going to aim for the mid to low tier, something akin to the Switch level of performance. Because I think what we have learned from the Switch is that the vast majority of casual gamers don't really care about that bleeding edge performance that I know we do, and I know that a lot of our friends do. I'm not saying we're better than them. I'm just saying that's high value.
I'm better than them.
Fair enough. I think that is something that a lot of people don't care as much about. Like, as long as the game runs, as long as they have fun. I think about like one of my coworkers who played. She played all of Hogwarts Legacy on her Switch, and to me, I played it on the Series X because it was gorgeous, but I couldn't imagine not having all those crazy textures and the draw distance. She didn't care at all. She still had a fantastic time. So I don't think Xbox is going for that. With regards to these numbers, I think this is great, dude. Like, you do the math, 6 million times $400 is a solid chunk of money that they're earning from this. And I agree, like, Freight Conductor is hitting great points in the chat. We don't see any advertising for the PC handhelds, right? You don't
Freight
see
Conductor
commercials
also
for them.
said price is king.
Price is king. Absolutely, dude. And here's what I'll tell you. When I take my Ally out into the world, like I take it to my daughter's gymnastics practice, or the other day, my daughter and wife wanted to go to this cat cafe, which I refused. So I just literally sat in the car and played Witcher 3. But people were passing me and they were kind of like, what you got over there? What is that? I think it's still relatively new to the market because they knew it wasn't a Switch. They could tell because of the coloring and the RGB and stuff. So I think it's just still interesting, like new.
Still
and
nascent.
And Todd made a great point. He goes that the front end software is still not. He said sucks. I don't think it sucks. I think it's not great though. I think we still have some time. We need to close that gap.
Yeah, the whole front end thing, dude. If you know how to work a Chromebook, you can operate an ROG Ally. I'm sorry. Like the whole PC
he didn't say he couldn't control it. He just said it's not super
you click on it, you double click on the Xbox app and you play games. Oh, you need an update, you download it. Same with Steam. Like I'm sick of hearing like this PC gaming is so complicated. PC gaming is complicated when you're installing a new GPU or building a computer. Yes, absolutely. But if you buy a pre-built Legion Go, ROG Ally, desktop, laptop, You literally just click Windows updates and then you play games. Like it's not.
And
It's
if you
just
have to
like your
wait,
phone.
You'll get a snack. Go poop.
Yeah,
go do
there's
what you
some
got.
time involved. But before I throw it over to Bacon, okay, let's get some of these comments in here. Gentle Stone said 100 million lifetime or last year. Gentle Stone, can you clarify what you're referring to? I know a Switch. I'm looking at an article.
He was
right
asking
now,
if the numbers were lifetime or just the last year, and I said it was 22 to 25.
Okay. Game Positive Eric thinks it's more so the fact that you can't buy the deck at retail, Walmart, Amazon, GameStop, etc. But can't you buy the ROGI at Best Buy? I'm pretty sure. Don't they have them there?
Online for sure. I don't know about in person.
I
Okay.
refurbed Steam Decks at GameStop.
Okay. Freight Conductor. Also, what's the last time you saw a commercial for PC handhelds? Maybe not on TV commercials, but I've seen advertisements on X or websites or
It's the algorithm.
have we seen it on YouTube though? I feel like there is advertising at least going online for these devices, but maybe you're right. It's not as advertised as a Nintendo Switch. Todd Oxter says, I bet Sony has sold more Portals. Maybe
Probably.
more than 6 million.
I don't
thought
know.
they were.
dude.
I thought they were like 4 million. I thought we heard numbers.
What about
like it was
PSVR 2? Have they sold more of those, or is
Oh,
that still dead?
gosh, here we go. Todd Oxter said, okay, and this is what I was going to go back to with the whole Switch thing. Outside of Nintendo, how big is the interest for handhelds? And I don't know. I think this just shows one, the power of IP with Nintendo and the nostalgia and introducing gamers. Like that's a huge part of, because the Switch is, let's be honest, it's a stinky Switch. It's barely runnable hardware, except Nintendo does a great job with their games. I got to give them credit. Jose, you look like you're going to say something. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, here's the thing. If you think back to just before the Switch, right? Before we knew it was a thing, right? The last thing that Nintendo did really was the
Wii U.
the Wii, the
What
Wii
a
U.
trash console.
And the Wii was fine, and everybody loved it for
It's
that hot
horrible.
minute. But the biggest complaint was that it didn't have powerful hardware, right? Because when you're comparing it as a docked console to the PS3 and 4 and to the Xbox, Series, that was not great, man. And they surprised us all. And I remember, like, I will admit that I'm wrong. I remember seeing the Switch and being like, they're dead. Like, Nintendo's literally officially dying. Nobody wants that. Clearly, they're not selling enough DSs, whatever. And I was way wrong. And I think what we realized that they either knew or they got lucky was that it created this market of people that you could play in lots of places. And so I'm not saying Todd's wrong, right? That how big is the interest? I think the interest is bigger than you think, right? Like I was listening to XCP and Logan was talking about his girlfriend A-Chick traveling, and they could still play together because she had a Switch, right? And so like we have to realize, especially with COVID in this very, very mobile world that was different than 5 years ago, that a lot of people do want a game on the go. And while the four of us are very lucky to be able to be at home on our nice rigs, it's nice to have that portability. And I admit it
It
too.
is nice.
I don't use my Ally all the time, but when I need it and I want to go sit on the couch or I want to go play by the pool in the summer, like it's pretty rad to have it then, dude.
Very true. And I pulled out my RG or my Legion Go as well. Jose, it's funny you had that story about someone saying, same thing happened to me when I was at that Candyland. I was playing this and some random woman was like, is that a Steam Deck? I was like, whoa, first of all, you just give me half
He goes,
chub
first of all,
for knowing what a Steam Deck is. And second of all, I know I'm married, but whoa, like you're asking about Steam Deck right now? But I was like, no, actually, this is a Legion Go. And so it does draw attention, especially if you got the LEDs going, maybe too, Jose. So it is new technology. I'm still kind of. Nissa says she loves. I mean, Nissa's got the best one. She's got the ROG Ally. She's got battery power. It can run great games. I still think to be able to play most modern games on this thing, you have to have it plugged in, because if you do it on battery, you're not going to get the whole full. What is it called? The TDP. What is that? What does that stand for? Bacon thermal, or no? Total draw power.
Total draw power.
Anyway, and so I love
Thermal. It's thermal.
draw power, something like that. Anyway, I like Bacon or Jose was saying was that it's good for certain games, certain situations. Same with Chance. You can Steam a lot. Like imagine playing Battlefield on this. I would love to try streaming. I forget that we can stream our library through Steam. I'd love to see how that goes. But Bacon, before I throw it over to you, one point again, shout out to Handsome Phantom. They had a good idea, great point about this. Is once once Lenovo sells this device, what's the incentive for them? Where do they get money? They don't, right?
From the next device.
They get a one-time sale on this. Same with the ROG Ally versus Steam and the Steam Deck. You're buying into the ecosystem. You're buying a Steam Deck, and maybe they'll lose money in that, but they know you're going to be in Steam with the Steam OS making money. Same with the Switch, where you make money being a part of Nintendo's ecosystem. So they were concerned as like, well, are these really going to continue if they're only selling, Todd or someone said in the chat that over half the PC handheld sales were to the Steam Deck. So if these are only 3 million sold, what's the incentive for Lenovo and ROG Ally to keep selling? So Bacon, what did you think of these numbers and what I just threw at you right there?
Well, we all got to be honest. For every single one of us, that is a companion device. Now, we are very fortunate. We are all in careers. We all have sugar mamas that make more money than us to allow us to do what we do. So we can buy this crap and use it sparingly. I haven't turned mine Ally on in 3 months. But it is, in fact, a companion device. If I had to choose between playing on that or playing on my broken PC, I'm going to choose my broken PC every time. And then you also got to think the only place you can play these Nintendo games is on the Switch. I mean, legally, that is. And so the one company where exclusivity matters and is always going to be on the Switch. So the rest of us just, AAA games played everywhere. And let's be honest, the Switch has been out a hell of a lot longer than the rest of these. So a lot of it does come down to price point, but in order to partake in the PC gaming ecosystem, we have to have graphically demanding games, and that requires some pretty serious hardware at a pretty serious expense. I mean, I think there is a big future for handhelds, but it's always going to come down to battery life. It's always going to come down to the intangibles that I can get maybe 2 hours on a flight, and then I'm reading pamphlets.
Yeah.
So that's no fun. So I'm not shocked. I think the fact that 6 million people have bought something that they don't need. I mean, Nissa is a use case. I would like to know how many people primarily game on their handheld. That would be the figure to know, that because Nissa's always talking about that she plays mostly on that and nothing else. And I would like to know those numbers at 500,000, a million, because then the rest of it is just people who had money to burn, who decided to drop a lot of money on something that absolutely none of us need, but we bought one anyway. So,
but I'm also interested in too, Bacon, and to your point, Dan. So I have a young, it's my cousin's son. So I guess my second cousin. I don't know what the correct term is, but my little cousin, he wants to be a gamer. Like, he's big into like Fortnite and YouTube, and he's a young dude. I think he's 8 years old. Oh. And his dad, my first cousin, came to me and said, "Hey, I know you're a nerd and you're into games and stuff. Like, what should I get him? Like, should I buy him a computer? I feel like that's really, really expensive." And I was like, I mean, it can be, it doesn't have to be, but I said, here's the thing, you might look into something like an Ally. And he was like, "What's an Ally?" And I showed him mine, and I said, "Look, it's not like a giant beefy computer, but it is actually a computer. It runs computer games. It's also portable. It's battery powered, and you don't have to get a monitor and a tower and a keyboard and a mouse and space in your house because he goes between his parents and stuff." Like, that was very enticing. Now, again, that's a relatively small use case because of my story, but we have to give it time, right? Like, the idea that you can have a PC in your hands that's powerful enough to play a vast majority of games at an acceptable rate is a new thing. Like, that's just not something that's been possible in the past. And so I am curious to see how it will develop. And to Dan's point about the money, you're not wrong, dude, about like, will Legion continue to produce? But just consider this number. I was crunching numbers while Bacon was talking. If Legion only sold 500,000 of that 6 million, right, which is a relatively small number, they still made $200 million revenue. And if it didn't cost them that to produce it, to do the R&D on it, then they are making a profit, right? And at the end of the day, that's what all these companies care about, is they care about the profit. So it's really that balance of how much do we put into R&D, how much do we have to pay in salaries and time to get this product, and what is that margin that we're making on the end. And you're right, if it doesn't get big or if it doesn't grow, yeah, they'll stop making it. That's basic business sense. But honestly, man, I would be willing to guess they're making a healthy margin at those prices.
We will see. And we'll see if Xbox is going to make. I agree, Jose. I think it would be smart of them to make a low-end competitor to the Switch. But then that just goes back to, is it going to be able to play the games that we want to play from Xbox and Steam, etc.? Maybe it's going to have both. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Let's move on to news story number 2. And this is for Bacon and Eric in the chat. PlayStation has a new beta program. Introducing the beta program at PlayStation, a new centralized place for you to register your interest in future PlayStation betas. From testing participating PS5 and, for Bacon, PC games, new PS5 console features, and more. Here are the requirements. Players must have a valid PSN account in good standing with current email address. Players must live in the region where the beta program is available. Thank God we live in the United States of America. And players must meet the legal age requirement for their region. It's free to join, and registration has been open. Bacon, you are Sony Pony #1 fan on this panel, going for all the platinum trophies. Did you sign up for the PlayStation beta program?
I have not, because I'm having computer issues.
He hasn't had a computer
You
in
can
2
do it
months.
on your phone to sign up.
So my big concern here is I was told Sony doesn't embrace PC. I was told that they make no money
Let it go,
selling their
man.
games on PC. Twitter has told me that all we do is pirate our games. But yet Sony is giving a beta program to the PC players.
Speaking of
Day and
PC
date, gentlemen,
players,
is upon us. Day and
shout out
date
to
upon us.
breaking news. Jose,
Exclusive world premiere.
Big Box is in the chat. I am in the PlayStation beta program. Ask me anything. Shout out to Big Box. He is there. He's Big Box. Where have you been? Seriously,
He's been in the chat earlier this.
we've been talking about. I've been giving you
We just talked
your
to him earlier.
flowers.
we talked to him.
Giving you your flowers when it comes to the single player games dying and games as a service. Where have you been, Big Box? Freight Conductor said, with the way these ports have been coming in hot, they could probably use these beta testers. And Todd Oxter, I prefer quality over quantity when it comes to gaming. Better controls, better. Oh, he's talking about the handheld. Bubble Boy, did you sign up for this? I mean,
Doing it right now. In
Oh,
fact,
yeah. Any thoughts on this? Will you actually try this on your PC, or are you afraid of getting bricked?
I'm open to trying it. We'll see. It depends on how it runs, and it depends what it can actually offer me. I'm not gonna hate on PlayStation games, so yeah, if it can help me out, let's give it a shot.
Yeah, Jose, I'm not gonna lie. I'm signing in right now to mine.
Me too. Literally, as we talk right now.
I mean, it says play test games on your PC. Yeah, I think that applies to all of us. So, Jose, what do you think of the PlayStation beta program? Are you just going to sign? This is just good news, right?
Yeah, like all jokes aside, this is great news. And honestly, I'm not shocked. I mean, look at Battlefield did this, literally 3 weeks ago. They're having a player beta test program. I could also see theoretically, and this is like, we're getting into a little bit like tinfoil hat area here. This is also a way that PlayStation might be addressing the concern about PlayStation has no games, right? The rhetoric that we're seeing right now, which
PlayStation has no games, Jose. They're only excited to play Xbox games like hits Forza Horizon 5, the #1 selling game on the nation for pre-orders, and soon to be Indiana Jones, and soon to be Avowed, and soon to be Doom, soon to be etc. Halo, Gears, Forza. Sorry, Jose.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's exactly what I was talking about. It's like a little flashback there. I think it's a good way, because here's what will happen theoretically is that someone in this program might hear a game that like not available to the public, and then it quote unquote leaks, and then it gets that these games are coming. Like, there's really not a lot of downsides to this, with one caveat. The caveat that obviously you have to know when you're doing a beta that you're going to run into bugs, you're going to run into issues, and so you kind of have to make sure that you don't have the people that are really going to be causing like problems and complaining about that the whole time. But other than that, it's a win, man. Like it gives you access. Dan said it's going to break your computer. It's not going to break your computer. The game just might not work.
It'll crash. But if you had a console, that has happened to consoles before. And speaking of, Jose, who just said that it bricked their... Todd Oxter said, didn't the last Xbox Inside update reset Xboxes? Yes. And I think Bacon was a part of that too. I was never a part of the skiphead because I was afraid my console was going to get bricked.
Yeah, my One X got bricked.
Exactly. Anything else, Jose?
Nope, that's it, man. I'm excited. I think it's great, man. Sorry, my daughter just used the bathroom.
No, you're good. So Freight Conductor said yes, they did reset Xboxes. That's why I stayed away from the alpha rank. Shout out to Gentle Stone. I got an Evite to beta to Skate. Is that game still around? Being made?
It's still in development right now.
Xbox, yes, Nissa does have the insider program. We do not.
Hey, I'm in.
No, I don't think any of us. And Dinero Primero's a better late than never. Also, guys, where the hell do you sign up for here? I'm on the webpage. Where does
it's at the top? It's a white button.
At the top.
It says join now. Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to the Nerd Chat and Xbox podcast. We're all signed up for the PlayStation beta program because we play on PC. We play. Why would I buy a PS5 big box when I can just play these games on my PC?
Day and date.
Speaking of big box, OMG, said big box. Last week's show got me so aroused like you wouldn't believe, Wally.
Did it?
Were you gonna say something, Chance or Jose?
I don't remember.
I just got accepted into the beta program.
Yeah, ditto.
Do I need to sign something? I agree.
All right, story number 3.
News story number
3. 3. Yeah.
Xbox leans into
Hold on.
AI. Wait, hold on. Alyssa is a mommy. Said,
Suck a
a fart out of my butt.
I mean, listen, bots are bad, but that bot,
that's probably Ashley listened to the show after you comment.
Okay, Nessa, can you make Alyssa as a mommy a
Shut
bot?
the fuck up, Gary.
I'm in, boys.
Apparently.
Beta.
Somebody take it away about empowering creators and players with Muse, a generative AI model for gameplay. Jose, is this what you want? I don't want to.
Yeah, I added this. It was actually last week. I know we're a little bit late
Yes.
to this game, but it is definitely something we should at least touch base on. It was a question that I actually asked Luke and Logan, and then it turned out it was like a news story. So basically, Xbox and Microsoft are trying to leverage the power of AI, right? AI is the hot topic in basically every field at this point, about how to help developers. And I understand there's definitely a lot of concern from the development community and from the gaming community that people are saying, like, we don't want AI to infiltrate gaming to the point where we lose people, where we get rid of the value of people, their skills, their creativity, their artwork, that kind of stuff. And I fully agree with that. I imagine all 4 of us do. But I wanted to ask you guys what you kind of thought about this. And I assume you probably didn't read a whole lot about this. Basically, the example that I was kind of reading about, and again, Logan talked about this on XEP, so shout out to him first, was the idea that, like, when you're actually coding a game, it's not like a drag and drop thing most of the time, right? Like when you're coding it, right? Once you've built the code and the assets and stuff, that's a different story. But when you're actually building stuff for the first time, it's pretty challenging. It takes a lot of time to do that. And one of the things that AI could do is that it be based on the parameters of the game that have already been created, that theoretically it can help you develop environments. It can let you play test things a lot faster and theoretically help with the development cycle. And honestly, Xbox and Microsoft seem pretty jazzed about it. The quote that I want to read, so that everybody's very clear, they said, "We are already using Muse," that's the name of the AI, "to develop a real-time playable AI model trained on other first-party games, and we'll see the potential for this work to one day benefit both players and game creators, from allowing us to revive nostalgic games to faster creative ideation." And so one of the other pieces that people speculated on was the idea that, could you train an AI on how to, like, basically take an old game that's not existed on any current platform and port it for you, or port it some percentage of the way for you, so that we could get some of those, favorite titles out. And especially lost titles. That's a piece of gaming that not everybody knows about. I imagine most of our chat does, and we do because we're nerds and stuff. But I'm just curious what your thoughts are. I mean, I'll tell you just from my perspective on this. I think that just running away from AI or just saying no is really not a tenable solution. I think realistically, when you balance the business side of things and the reality that in many situations AI can be a very helpful thing, I don't think we can just say no. I do absolutely agree that we have to be careful with it. But I gotta be honest. I think it's really cool that a developer may not have to spend as much time making old games and could focus on new games, or that if someone wants to just test a couple of ideas, they could do it in a much shorter time frame. So I'm not opposed to it. I think we still have a long way to go. We have to obviously learn more about it, and I'm certainly not a developer, so I I can't claim that I'm an expert here, but definitely would love to hear what you guys think about it. Anybody want to start?
Yeah, Bubble Boy, how do you feel about our AI overlords?
I will always go on record as saying praise be to the AI overlords. I hope they hear that. I hope they
Praise
remember
be to
that.
Legion.
Yep, Legion for life. No, I think this is cool, and I think hopefully it's something that we can embrace and not be something that like takes away people's jobs or ruins anything. I'm not asking for it to be that, but I think obviously since we're in education, I think about it in our job, in my line of work, in that when Chat GPT first came out, there were so many teachers that were like, oh my God, we have to ban it. It's the worst thing ever. Well, no, you just have to adapt to it is what you have to do. So Chat GPT can't help you do a presentation in class. It can't help you during a group discussion. It shouldn't be able to, but so I think if you can just get ahead of where some of those problems could be, that this doesn't have to be a bad thing. So
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you, Chance. I'm and Jose as well. I am still at we still don't know what AI is going to do for gaming, good or bad, and I'm still waiting to see how we can use these tools, like Jose mentioned, in a positive way. If it's going to make making certain things in video games easier, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do I want it to replace jobs? No, but do I want it to help make things more efficiently? Sure. And let's see. And the thing with AI right now is we can still tell, right? Like we can tell when we see a piece of artwork or a prompt or writing, we're like, oh, that was clearly somebody took that off of ChatGPT and whatnot. So I am open to it. I like Jose and you're saying, you either have to adapt or get left behind. I feel like, it's still so new that we don't know what the long-term effects are going to be, and it's here and it's not going anywhere. Skynet, as Freight Conductor said, is always listening. Exactly. AI, if I can get it out of my pocket, has been listening to us for decades now with these smart devices. Yeah. So, this is the world we live in, whether we are ready for it or not. So, Bacon, any thoughts on AI and gaming?
Well, I mean, it's inevitable. Thanos said so, that it's coming. Nvidia makes insane amounts of money on their AI and their chips and selling it to data centers. It's unavoidable. I'm okay with it. Like, when we're playing around in an open world game and we hear NPCs talking, like just general chat, I'm okay with that. I'll be driven by AI, so you don't have to code that language and be like, oh, NPC 76 says you stepped on my toe. To have that stuff going on in the background, but I don't think I want that in main quests. AI driven main quests and stuff. I don't know about all that, but
until they make a really banger slinger quest that we didn't know is AI, and we're like, wow, that was a great mission. Like, guess what, guys?
What would be cool is if it did change everybody's playthrough of a game because of a choice you made earlier that affected a choice later, and AI interpreted that and made a different quest line or a different outcome for something for you. I mean, it could be cool, but again, I don't want to see it delete jobs, because we need all the developers.
Speaking of that, Todd Osher said, considering all the layoffs in gaming and cost cutting, AI just hasn't shown how it will be better for the industry. Guys, we are getting outnumbered here. The chat is angry on AI. Game positive. I'm a software developer. AI is a great tool for developers, but it's also a great way for billionaires to get robots to do what they used to have to pay a human to do, which we already see in gaming. Silking it. Also, people conflate AI and generative AI, the LLMs and Midjourney stuff. AI is much larger than all that. Dinero Primero. AI has affected artists like me, but mostly because a lot of people don't mind using AI for their art. It's easy and you don't have to pay for an artist. But Todd's also said, what is the work that developers don't want to do? Make AI do that. I like that, Todd. Yeah. But also, Todd, comp babies like AI to reduce cost and labor. AI made Starfield better with all those randomly generated plants. All right, Todd, I'm so sick of the Starfield shitting on freaking party. I'm over it. That was a bad example. Yes, I get it, Todd, but there are other great parts of Starfield. I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic about our AI overlords. I'm trying to see the positive of what AI can do to make our lives better. Hopefully, we don't turn into Skynet and what's that movie?
Minority Report.
Minority Report's badass. That's
I
amazing.
feel like I would thrive in the Terminator timeline, so I'm okay with it.
No, what's that one Disney Pixar movie where they all just sit and they're all fat and they just have the 3D headsets on? Wall-E.
Frozen.
Wall-E. That's what I'm thinking. Hopefully we don't turn into Wall-E. Shout out to the Big Box.
Your name's Wally.
Big Box said, yeah, I got it for you, conductor. The finals game of the generation, by the way. Big Box Ains over at Season Gaming and Pomps, they literally messaged me. They said, hey, Dan, you should miss a week of Nerd Chat and come play finals with us. So, yeah, big fans of finals over there. Uses AI voice lines during the match. I think they're planning to use player names during the match commentary, though they haven't done it on a wide scale yet. So, yeah, I mean, if it's going to help make games more interesting while being respectful of people's jobs, I don't know. This is a complicated.
I think Todd just nailed it, right? Because it's like they're doing what drug dealers do. They're gonna here's a little sprinkle for free. We'll get you addicted, and we'll make it part of your daily life. And then once it's something that you have to have, now we're gonna charge you for it. Thanks for
reading
way.
his quote there, Bubble Boy. But Todd Oxford said AI has started charging people for images, music, etc. That is the end game. And Gentle Stone, my concern is further degradation of critical thinking skills. Yeah.
Yep. Seeing that in schools, let me tell you.
Shout out to De Niro. De Niro says, so that's how we got to get a hold of Pomps, is just go play. That's all they talk about. De Niro. They won't shut up about the
What's
finals.
the
Apparently
finals?
I need to play it. Guys, let's close the news with news story number 4. Assassin's Creed Shadows canon mode. Take it away, Bubble Boy.
Yeah, so I thought this was kind of cool from Zach Sweisen over on Kotaku. Disappointed fans inspired Ubisoft to create a canon mode for Assassin's Creed Shadows. So what this means, what I learned, and it didn't even occur to me at first, but Assassin's Creed Shadows, set in feudal Japan and starring 2 very different protagonists, launches later this month. When fans boot it up, they'll have an ironic choice to make. During your playthrough, do you want to make choices or not? You can play Shadows like most RPGs, choosing what to say to certain people to affect the outcome of a quest line or story arc, or you can choose canon mode, which removes such choices and tells a set story created by Ubisoft. I think this is really cool.
This is really cool. This is cool.
Yeah, I kind of like. I don't think of Assassin's Creed as a game where I'm like making
like a Mass Effect, right?
No,
we already see the canon, right? Like if it was up to me, somebody in Assassin's Creed 3 would still be here. That's all I'm saying.
There you go, right? So it's kind of cool that you can do it this way. It also makes me think, and this might not have been, well, I'm sure it wasn't their intended consequence. The reason that they said they did this was because people were upset about the fact that they didn't have the continuity of having something be full-blown canon. One of the unintended consequences that I think might cause this or come from this is that people are going to want to replay it. So if you do it the first time without the canon mode, and you're making your own choices, you're probably going to want to, or at least, watch the cutscenes back and see what it's like on canon mode. So I think it's kind of cool. And I would have never thought, like when I first saw that article, I was like, canon mode. And I know what the word canon means, but I was like, well, what does that mean? I was thinking like the weapon, a cannon. And then when I read it, I was like, oh snap. Okay. I can.
Yeah, no, I think this is
and it also, if cool. At the very end of the day, if anything else, it shows they are listening to fans, right? And hopefully they listened in a lot more ways than just, we want continuity in the story. And I have to hope and trust that they will, and maybe we'll get to tell you about that soon. But
who are the disappointed fans? I don't understand. Did you talk about that?
Chance was one.
Yeah.
Of them.
So
like
it says
specifically about what?
So, creative director Jonathan Dumont talked about the canon mode. According to him, while many fans have loved the RPG choices in recent AC games, others missed the fact that there was no longer a single agreed upon meta narrative. When we introduced a choice of characters and dialogue choices in Odyssey, many of our fans loved the idea, but some expressed their disappointment in not having a definitive canon narrative for the game that could be embedded in the AC lore meta story.
So would there
So-
have been an Alexios versus a Cassandra, right? That would have to be a canon decision.
I mean,
Yeah, you would have had
Cassandra's the protagonist, my guy.
Well, I,
Every day. Anybody that played as Alexios the first
did.
time, I'm sorry.
That's what I did.
You ruined that game. For
I don't
us.
like
No wonder
staring
you-
at hot digital asses all day, right? I was like, what do you think about this canon mode? I think this is pretty cool. I like how it gives you the choice. This is actually, I got to give Ubisoft credit. I feel like this is innovative.
I mean, here's what I like about it, and this is probably an unpopular opinion, is that while I love a good open world game, I really do, right? I'm not saying anything bad about them. As my time becomes more valuable, I like the path. Like, and a great example, we're going to talk about what we've been playing. I love Avowed, and I'm having a great time exploring. But after I finish Avowed, I'm probably never going back. I'm probably not going to do a second playthrough, as I do for most games. To be very clear, it's not just an Avowed thing. So I think from that perspective, being able to just say, like, I just want to play the story as basically the way the writers and devs intended. Cool. Like, I'm very happy with that. I also love that they give you the option to say, no, I want to create my own zany world with my own choices. I think both are valuable, and I think both, it's cool that they give you that option. What it honestly makes me a little bit bummed for is that I really liked the Desmond arc of the first Assassin's Creed trilogy. Like, I was kind of vested in that story, and obviously a much younger me was kind of hoping that they would eventually lead to like an Assassin's Creed in modern day, like New York City, right? That was kind of what I was hoping for. And so I'm a little bummed that they didn't do that reason. It would have been nice to be able to say you can do all these arcs in these other areas and other time periods, but ultimately there was kind of one through line to the story, and maybe that's what they're trying to do moving forward, right? So maybe this is kind of the first and kind of the next generation of Assassin's Creed Shadows from that writing perspective. But cool, man. I have no complaints. I can imagine a lot of people are going to get really upset about this and like, how dare you take away choice? And that's just dumb. Like, they're not taking it away. You just choose to play it how
They're
you want.
literally giving you more choice.
Yes, which I agree.
Closing thoughts on this, and by the way, I got a big update from BigBox1431.
No, for me, I've never been a canon guy. I didn't care that Paramount Plus slaughtered Halo's canon and did what they did. I don't care. I'm looking to play a fun game. I'm looking to play a game in Japan. I'm looking to play as a samurai. Favorite time frame of all time. But options are always better. Difficulty options, slider for this, slider for that. People with disabilities, giving everybody an option to enjoy a game. Only thing I will say is that Sony, you need to make your platinums easier to get, so it doesn't take me 75 hours to get a platinum. If we could work on that. But yeah, let's play games and have fun. And I really hope Chance's news.
We play Jose. Why do we play video games?
You play to win the game.
Play to get the
You
platinum.
don't play to just play it.
And Beggin, you'll appreciate that at the very end they say, because Naue and Yasuke are different people, they each have unique romance possibilities.
Yeah, I did
Super
notice
excited to
that.
play this. I can't wait to play this.
Yeah, am I gonna buy this
would
day
not.
one because
because
of
the
this
greatest
update?
one was Odyssey, and then I hope this is up
Well, we're
there.
gonna find out about
No,
that
it's
soon.
Black Flag Origins. Anyway, it says, by the way, the subtitle to this article, Chance, did you read it? It says, however, the option to turn off choices won't limit players' ability to romance. So they
I
know
didn't
all
read
those
it out
crazy
loud. I
simps.
Caught that
out
earlier,
there
but because I
will
don't
still
care
be
about
able to romance. Yeah, whatever.
They also
got-
said 30 to 40 hours is your main line.
Yeah, they also said that for Valhalla, which was like 100
because they also
hours.
added, if you want to see all the maps and all the achievements, it's closer to 75, which is still shorter than Origins and Odyssey and Valhalla by a long margin. So reasonable. I would consider that reasonable for an Assassin's Creed game. I still think it's a little long for me, but for general games for Assassin's Creed, it's pretty solid.
It makes me wonder too, because they haven't, or at least I haven't seen anything about it. Did you guys do all the oh god, why am I drawing a blank? Like the historic modes on them?
Yeah.
On the new 3 ones?
Absolutely not.
I loved that. The Egypt one was
I
incredible.
had to do it for an achievement. That's the reason.
You don't think you would do it for this one, Bacon, even though it's your favorite time period?
I mean, I very well could.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I don't think. I mean, it's very interested, very cool. That would be something if I was a teacher, I would
The
use.
Last
that.
Samurai is probably in the top 5 greatest movies of all time. Way better than Vanilla Sky.
We'll see about that. Guys, Big Box, I did find your comment. I will do that at the end of the show to close the show. Guys, let's go into what have we been playing and or watching. I would like to go first quickly. I believe I'm caught up to Severance. What a show. Do I feel like season 2 is better than season 1? I feel like a lot of people are saying this is the greatest season of TV ever. I don't know, Jose. It's been solid, but better. You think it's that good? No, okay.
I haven't seen season 2 yet, but no. I
Okay,
don't think
but
that.
you'll see. I don't know, but really enjoying Severance. But as I mentioned earlier, I did complete Avowed, and here is my little quick review. This is game number 10. Or sorry, number 9. Sorry, no, game number 9 that I've beaten this year. I played Avowed on Xbox PC Game Pass, 940 out of 1,000 achievement gamer score. Should be 1,000 of 1,000. Yes, Eric, you asked earlier. I did beat it on Path of the Damned difficulty. 75 total hours. I'd give it an 8.5 out of 10. I loved my time in Avowed. This game is the perfect beginner's RPG, or an RPG that doesn't waste your time with excessive details. The melee, magic, and gunplay combat are truly S tier. I hope the next Elder Scrolls takes a page from this game. Unlimited ammo is clutch. The dodge and parry were also exceptionally well done. That's one thing I do want to shout out. The dodge mechanic. Elder Scrolls didn't have a good dodge mechanic. Bethesda, Todd Godhoward, you need to have a dodge or an excellent roll that is
Slide's
implemented.
a little funky though.
The slide is okay, but the dodge is amazing. The dodge is fantastic. If that I realized when I was thinking about the melee combat at Avowed, they need to incorporate that along with the unlimited ammo and the whole weight system. And not can you even be over encumbered in this game? You probably can, but you can just send some crap. Yeah, it's not even a factor.
I got some boots that were supposed to be incredible because they had like add plus 25, and I was like, why would I care? I don't.
Yeah, I have IO,
need
and some of the I didn't even write this. The uniques that you get are awesome, and uniques like I had so many ones where like increase your speed, increase your dodge distance, like fantastic with their loot. The exploration was also S tier. This game encourages and rewards you with fun loot, going back to the items that you find, the uniques in the zones. I'm a big fan of the zone structure. It feels manageable and rewarding. The story exists. I really didn't care much for the story and characters. I'll be honest, you guys. I wasn't playing it for the story. Just like I kind of felt the same about the Outer Worlds. I thought there were some funny moments in the Outer Worlds, but I couldn't tell you anybody in that game except for what's her face. I was there for the combat and exploration, which are some of the best I've played in some time. I was wowed by Avowed. So that is my little quick review on Avowed. Also been playing Call of Duty. Did get to Prestige 10. No big deal. I'm a Prestige 10.
You're a big deal.
In Call of Duty. I have Dark Matter camo. I can unlock it for any game now. Or any
My name is Jeff.
So kind of a big deal. Bubble Boy, what have you been playing?
I am just about to get to the third area in Avowed. Still
Nice.
having a lot of fun, but taking my time with it. One thing that's I'm really excited to share about it is Cora asks me to play it a lot because the character we made, she basically made for me. And I told Ashley about how much reading is involved in it. And so she's like, okay, Cora can go play with you. And Cora genuinely likes making the choices and the dialogue choices to see she'll like make it and then look up at me. She's like, did I make the right choice? And like look to see how they react.
Nope, they just murdered that guy. That's the wrong choice.
Yeah,
It's been kind of cool to see it through her lens, because as much
Mhm.
as I'm like, none of this really means anything, it is really cool to watch her just like watch Kai's reaction, or watch that merchant's reaction to what you say, because to her that's revolutionary and all new and neat. So love that. As you can see from the background here, I'm almost done with Revelations. There, and like I said, or what you didn't hear earlier apparently, was I am really enjoying it. I did not like it at all the very first time I played it. I'm not even confident if I ended up finishing it. I don't know why. After having just played all the other ones, I'm like, this is easily
Is
my
that the one where you
favorite.
could fly? Or is that a
That's
previous one?
there's
Yeah.
parachutes in this
Da
one.
Vinci's Machine.
That was previous to, though. But what I like so much about it is how concentrated it is. The other ones, they started, you could tell when the Ubisoft bloat started, and they toned it back down in this one. It's still a big map. It's Istanbul and Constantinople. And it does have a lot going on it, but it feels concentrated, and I really like that. So it's going up the ranks a lot higher than what
nice.
the member berries had for me.
Did
on
you
it,
you
so.
still played Mirage, right?
No.
Did you have it though? That's part of the collection.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. It's on sale, by the way, for $20. So was Prince of Persia. Since I think I might have to buy that. It's $20 on Steam right now.
Is it
So
really?
hard.
I might have to pick
It's
that
so
up.
hard.
And then I'm glad, the only other thing I wanted to say, because for what I'm watching, I'm so glad Jose did this. I am dying to start Born Again, but I was like, I really, not that I need to, I was like, I probably need to go back and watch Daredevil all over again, because it was just so good.
So good.
And Jose said stellar choice, right? Like,
Yep.
need to do it. Yeah, I think I might. I'm gonna even try to convince Ashley to watch it. I feel like it's not like the Penguin where there is no connection to or not no, but you know, the connection to Batman and the Penguin was so minimal that she would be able to get through it. This Daredevil's about as like unsuperhero. I felt like kind of right, maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, here's what I would say. So it's parlaying into that. I did the COD event. All I'll say that differently is that, remember, we always argue that like we want cross promotion in different games. This is an example of that. And I know that TMNT is not an Xbox property. I understand that, but I'm saying, like, I know people think it's crazy that I paid $20 for that skin. That's because I want more skins like that, right? And so like you got to buy it for them to make it. So just throwing that out.
I ended up getting Michelangelo, by the way, so we can
Attaboy.
all four team up and have all the powers. His power is incredible. Every time you ADS on somebody, it marks their entire outline.
Yep,
like
it's
that.
fantastic.
The one thing.
Yep. But I've been playing the last couple nights more Avowed. What I like about Avowed is that the way that I play, I mentioned this last week, is when I get to a new area, I do not go to my first objective marker. I literally just take a left or a right and just literally unlock the whole map, the Fog of War, and just go find all the collectibles and monsters and stuff like that. That's just how I like to play, because the other part of it, it's a great game that I can put on a show or I can put on a podcast and play and not necessarily have to worry about what I'm doing and with a lot of that piece of it. And then when I get all that done, then I go through the main story at the end in about an hour. And I feel like I actually understand the story a little bit better, which I like that model. But as Chance said, so last night, because I heard great reviews about the first episode of Born Again for Daredevil. And so I was like, God, I really want to do that, but it's been so long and I want to go back and watch Daredevil. And I did. And it's so good. What I will say, Chance, I don't know if Ashley will love it, because man, it's more violent than I forgot. Like, I forgot how violent it is because of just how brutal. And Dan and I were joking, but like, man, he just gets his ass kicked like pretty significantly for about
over and over and over again. I was like, you just got into a fight yesterday. I'm sorry, you can't be healed.
You broke a rib, but you're fine. So it's been really great. Really excited to work through that as I keep playing Avowed, and then of course start Born Again. It is only week by week for Born Again. So if you're on the fence like I was, remember you have time, because they're not releasing a whole season at once. You're not going to get necessarily a ton of spoilers.
Oh, because it's not Netflix. Yeah,
exactly. So you have a little bit of time, which is nice. The other thing that I mentioned earlier that I do want to touch on, just this week I have tried 2 other controllers. So I did originally buy the Wolverine V3 from Razer, and I did,
otherwise known as the GOAT.
Yes, sir.
Chance is holding it up.
Yes, sir.
And I loved it playing Avowed. Like, I loved the way I could hold it. I loved the extra button that Bacon talks about on top. That thing is OP. I really love that feature. But then when the turtle thing came out on COD, I was like, all right, let's jump over. Absolutely hated it. Like, it literally hurt my hand to play that game. And since I'm going to play probably a lot more COD in my life than I'm going to play Avowed, I was like, man, I just can't justify the price tag. So I did return that. Shout out to Amazon for that. And then thank you, Bacon. Bacon recently bought the Scuff Valor, the wired version of the Instinct, basically. So he let me try it out. And I did like it. I liked it better than the Wolverine in terms of comfort, but I didn't like those back pedals. Like it just
really, Jose, you did not like the greatest
I didn't
paddle
either.
design ever.
I didn't hate it. It just didn't work with my brain. I found myself wanting to just come back to the Elite, and I miss the dual back paddles, and I tried putting in my old ones of this thing. Like, well, maybe I've evolved.
Force too many. That's
Get
why
that
this is
Black
good,
Ops
Jose.
Elite,
Because
Jose.
because look, you're used to pressing one, and then you just flick this one over here to reload.
I thought that, dude. I was like,
reload,
it's gonna be perfect. It's just another range of motion. I just didn't like it, dude. And I tried flicking it or kind of going. You can kind of go on top and push down. You know what I
just
mean?
gonna press over.
I'm just gonna wait till the Elite 3.
Are you guys talking about video games or pleasuring
flick.
Both. You got that right.
So
so you're gonna wait. So
Bacon.
you're not getting a controller. I'm shocked that you're not even gonna give the. But you
I mean, honestly, I thought about the Instinct, but it's the same as the Valor. It's just wired. So why would I do that? If anything, I was going to maybe try
Different
the Turtle
bumpers.
Beach that Logan had, just because it's something different. But I mean, realistically, man, a perfect controller for me now is I want those buttons on top if they make that one, and I liked the Razer double paddles. If I could have that on the Elite, I would actually be pretty happy with that.
If you could remove them, I don't like how you can't remove them.
But we'll see. So that's what I've been playing or watching, man. It's been I also started a new book too, with the Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, by Grady Hendrix, who did How to Sell a Haunted House. Awesome horror writer. So this one I'm really liking pretty early.
By the way, I still think the Elite has the best grips. I don't know what Bacon's talking about.
I agree, man.
I still think
agree.
Shout out to Deja Vu. Deja Vu said if they made a turtle game with those sick graphics of TMNT, that would be sick.
Well,
If
Last Ronin, right?
Ray Conductor said, I'm holding out for the Last Ronin TMNT game. Yeah. By the way, Bacon, what's the update on Last Ronin? Have you tried to read?
Did you read it?
Not yet.
Thank you. It's
Not fully.
it's so good. Oh,
So good.
I'm gonna
Bacon, what have you been playing or watching?
I haven't had much gaming this week, but I have all Monday. I put like 6 more hours into Avowed. Again, I'm going to say the dialogue is just too much, and all the notes that I never read notes in any game, and never have, never will. So
Wait, Bacon. You really think this game has more dialogue than Mass Effect?
I think Mass Effect's dialogue is more intriguing and like it's better.
It feels like it does because it's so much fluff
Right.
and that you don't need.
Right.
Is that what you're trying to say?
yes.
Right? Like,
Yes, get to the point. Let's make some dialogue. Let's make some choices and move on. I do really love the exploration. I love the combat. I love, like, Dan's right with the dodge, because I have the dodge right up here on this upper bumper, right by my trigger fingers.
That was my menu button. I love that for the menu button because it's too
Really?
far to reach up for the menu button.
Oh, mine's dodge every time. I actually have both of them set to dodge in case I freak out and hit the wrong button. So, and then I've also got I think I'm at 7 hours into Balatro again.
yeah.
Gotta stop doing that. But I love
Yeah.
Stop hanging out, Deja, bud.
So as far as what I've been watching on Max, The Pit, it's basically modern ER, and
Is
it
it?
is so good.
Really?
It's
Stressful.
it all takes place in one day with a bunch of med students. Super, super good. I'm waiting for the last episode of the season. I believe it's the last episode coming up. The Pit's really, really worth your time. And and Reacher season 3. Reacher season, I love Reacher. That dude is so cool.
With the big guy.
Yeah,
right?
it's hard to believe that guy tried out for American Idol. If you guys didn't know that, he tried out for American Idol and he
Did not know
wooed
that.
Paula Abdul, and she was like all in love with him, but he was like super
I
skinny
mean,
back then.
I get it.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, I wonder how he got so big and buff. Called steroids and
Hard
TRT.
work and dedication.
Steroids.
Yeah, he's like older than me. Yeah,
Crunchwrap
just
Supremes.
Check out-
natural.
Jose Canseco.
Guys, let's before we close the show, I found his comment. Shout out to Big Box 1431. 1.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I lost his comment.
I was like, "Are you waiting for me to?"
Yeah,
'cause I've
really
done this
drawing
countdown
that one out.
about 7 times tonight. Do we need to do it an eighth?
Shout out to Big Box.
Like I'm taking crazy
1-4.
pills here.
3-1.
This better be good. The anticipation.
Nerd chat. Oh wait, I forgot to do timestamp for this. What do we at? 1:14:25. Did you guys ever see the movie Red Dragon?
Yes.
It starts with a Dr. Hannibal Lecter wincing at a flutist during a symphony. That was Chipotle, Bacon, Bubble Boy, and Eric B for me. All 4 Nerd Chat flutists made bizarre comments regarding the inevitability of live service. Point 1. If people spend their childhood and young adult years loving the New York Yankees, they don't reach a certain age and start following the NBA. Instead, they get their kids to watch the New York Yankees with them. This idea that kids will grow out of social player-centric video games and start preferring games that force boring dialogue and passive cutscenes on the player seems far-fetched. 2. If you look at today's 10 most successful live service titles, the majority of them were developed by creatives who grew up in the traditional single-player era. Tomorrow's developers will have grown up in the Minecraft, Fortnite, and Roblox era. When an entire studio grew up playing the best games as a service games of 2020, it bodes well for the games as a service games they'll make in 2030. 3. The biggest cancer in the room that games media has largely ignored is the putrid completion rates of traditional single player. Based Big Box. You are so based on this, Big Box. I'm sorry, but if 70% of your paying customers grow too bored to finish your 30-hour game, then you're selling a bad product. I don't care about Game of the Year awards or Metacritic scores. It shouldn't surprise anyone that the model that focuses on fun, in parentheses, player engagement, is ripping through the model that focuses on upfront sales. Live services first generation dominance over late generation single player is like 300, where the Spartans actually defeat the Persians. D. Wally, Todd Oxtra, and Matt, you're invited to my theoretical dinner party anytime.
I mean, Red Dragon didn't
Shout out to Big Box 1431 Bacon. What is your response to him calling your single player ass out?
Well, I mean, it's not that I don't play live service games. I like a good single player game with a good story and good everything. But I'm beginning to think Big Box is a pretty educated man, because either that or he just is up on pop culture. Because that dude, like, his references are
his write-ins.
S tier references.
like right. His references are always spot on. And I know he loves those live service games. I mean, we'll forget Concord happened. We'll move on from Concord. But I mean, think about how much money that Call of Duty's made off these turtle skins or the Terminator skin the week before. I mean,
F you asshole.
It's live service is here to stay. Maybe they can make them with AI, and we can put the real teams on the single player games that we all love so much. But I do love Big Box's comments. I'm going to leave it at that. He's Big Box. It's just Big Box.
Todd Oxter said Big Box is spitting fire right now. Jose, any response to Big Box's amazing write-in right there?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question was, I'm pretty sure in Red Dragon, didn't he gut the flautist? Like, he hangs them from rafters and cuts them in half? Or is that a different victim in Red Dragon? I can't remember.
Oh, it's flautists? Sorry. I thought it was a flutist.
Flautist.
I mean, here's the thing, man. I also like online games. I literally just talked about COD and stuff like that. But and I still am from the era where I think I would rather play the individual games
But what
I'll
about
tell
his
you-
comment tying in? If you're a Yankees fan and you like this kind of sport, why would you just randomly switch to becoming a NBA fan or watching
'Cause the NBA is better.
completely different? Well,
Well, here's the point, and I'm speaking as someone who actively is trying to get my children into video games. Like I really, really am trying. One, the
and
issue
what
is
are they playing, Jose?
Roblox. They cannot stop playing Roblox. Like literally tonight, I was getting ready for the show with our thumbnail and our audio clip and stuff, and my daughter Penelope was right next to me, jumping on frickin' Dress to Impress, and she spends hours watching this stupid game on YouTube, and there are millions and millions of people and hits, and they are sadly much more popular than we are in terms of content creation. But I guess here's the part that I struggle with. Because I don't play a ton of Nintendo games, there aren't a ton of games that I feel comfortable playing side by side with my kid. Like even Avowed, I don't think Avowed is bad by any stretch of the imagination. But it is-
Minecraft Dungeons.
but they have to like it. And I tried, and Scarlett liked it a little
Forza
bit.
Horizon.
Penelope was not into it. You know, I've tried Forza. They like it for a little bit. I know it's just going to take that one game. I know it is. Like I have to
Disney
find out
Dreamlight
what-
Valley?
We tried Dreamlight Valley, and they played for a little bit, and then they didn't play more. My wife, I cannot get to stop playing Stardew Valley, which I'm very proud of her for. But even my daughters played that for a little bit and kind of fell off. I think what it's going to ultimately take is they're going to have to get that period of time in their life when their friend group will play video games, and that's going to be my window to
Yep.
jump in and get them in and
And
really bring them here.
It's gonna
But
be
they're very
Fortnite.
comfortable around it. Like they know how to navigate controllers, they know the concepts. But to that point, it's not that it's not that I'm not a Yankees fan trying to teach my kid to be Yankees fans, but there is also an element of free will, right? Like I can't, if I force them here, they're going to hate it, and then they're never going to play it. And
Yep.
so I think part of the way I embraced it is I really have no interest in Fortnite, but I'm almost certain at some point my kids are going to want to play Fortnite. And so I feel like I need to know so that when that moment comes, I can play
Yep.
and then bring them over to the dark side. Like that's basically what I'm planning on. Still, point taken. And Big Box, as always, we appreciate your riding, friend.
Hey, quick
before,
question.
Before
Oh.
Bacon. Game Positive, both single player and live services are here to stay. Todd, I'm a dinosaur, but I just don't care about PvP, PvE for the win. Eric also said, I literally just became a hockey fan at 35. That's because your nation won this stupid All-Star break game. And that's not true, Eric. You were playing hockey, you said growing up. It's just you preferred basketball. But Todd, going back to what Jose was just saying, I don't think you can influence your kids. They are influenced by their friends. What were you going to say, Bacon?
Have any of you guys clicked on the new Tony Hawk
No, I don't care for
game
that. I don't
on
understand why
the
everyone
Xbox app? Please do
thinks-
it right now for me and tell me what you see on the picture too.
Okay, in a
Is
second.
it the,
Well,
Taco Bell?
No, it is literally Tony Hawk and his reflection in the Doomslayer's mask.
Yeah, they added that as a skin you can get in it.
Doomslayer is in Tony Hawk.
Yeah,
Doomslayer
yeah,
skin
he's in
is in
there.
Tony Hawk. They
Yeah,
announced
he's
it
How
yesterday.
cool is? And you don't like
Super
Tony
rad.
Hawk? Tony Hawk
I
is
like Tony Hawk.
again, you guys, this game was really cool when I played it on my PlayStation 1
music was
25
so
years ago.
good.
I was
So,
singular.
everyone's going to talk about this game like it's so great. It's going to sell like 2 million copies. Like it's just I don't get it. It's cool. Glad it's on Game
a good
Pass.
ally game.
We-
It's a good
Let's
ally
just remember this conversation. We'll see how many of you are going to play this when this comes to Game Pass. Okay. So I do want to say, Jose, you guys are full of shit. I want
I
to say
played the last one like no
there's
one's
some
business.
hope. Big Box in my son. He plays his Switch. He's playing Mario. He beat Donkey Kong. He's playing some of those traditional games. But then what's he always? What does he want me to sign him up for, Jose? Freaking not Roblox.
Minecraft.
No, what's that educational game I was talking about? Oh my god.
Kahoot?
No, it's some stupid turn. It's cool, Chance. You would appreciate it. It's turn-based. It's kind of like Final Fantasy, except they give you like a math problem to solve or a reading question to answer, and then you can attack and defeat enemies. But why does he want he Prodigy? It's called Prodigy. Everyone go look up Prodigy for kids.
Good band.
And he wants Prodigy, the monthly subscription service version of it, Jose, which unlocks other skins that he wants in other animals for him to obtain because his friend Paxton has this special one.
Ladies and
So
gentlemen, we got him.
they already got him, guys. They already got him with the live service. They got him with this games. But at least with this educational game, I'm like, Grayson, guess what? There's this series and this game type called a JRPG with turn-based combat. You're basically playing a Final Fantasy game right now. It doesn't have to be this Prodigy. I encourage learning, but I'm not sure I'm going to pay $12 a month for you to unlock some stupid ass skins, okay, or some other.
He says that
Pokemon
as he
monsters.
bought his Raphael skin.
Well, different. That's completely different. So, Bubble Boy, you got anything to add to Big Box's comments? Nope. All right, guys, let's close.
I mean, other than just love having him back. So
Yeah, glad to have you back, Big Box. Let's close the show like we always do with the best food we
It's like
had
there's a party in my mouth and everyone's invited.
this week. Can we change it back to the Ken Griffith Jr. saying it? Thank you, Bubble Boy. Bubble Boy, go ahead. What was the best food you had this week?
I did end up. I am very sad to report I did not. They were out of the milk bar churros at Taco Bell when I went. Was like, she's like, do you want one or two? And I was like, two, obviously. And I was just all excited. And then she's like, ooh, sir, I'm gonna have to say, let you know we're out of those. And I was just like, oh God. But I did get the Crunchwrap sliders, the steak Crunchwrap sliders, and they were pretty delicious. The best part, I will say, they were really tiny, which isn't great, but the best part was actually the green chili queso that comes with it. I dip anything in that stuff. So
Nice. Shout out to Big Box. Big Box says, update Chipotle. Hannibal eats the flautist, or flutist, as I call them. LOL. Yeah, shut up, Big Box. Okay, sorry. I've never seen this fucking movie and don't know who.
It's a great film, dude. It's a great movie.
It's all right.
Shout out to Gentle Stone and Todd Ox. Todd Ox just said Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is the best selling Tony Hawk game. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. Gentle Stone, I bought Run and 2 Remake. I'll probably buy the deluxe thing for this one. Time to get him a new chore. Gentle Stone, teach your son to work hard. Yes, we are discussing. I'm looking into getting Prodigy subscription service. And then I want to go back to Eric's question. Dan, what was your favorite game when you were my son's age? Well, when Grayson was 7, and I remember, I think I got my Super Nintendo in first grade, if I remember correctly, my favorite game was Super Mario World, one of the greatest games of all time, and The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So what do you think about those answers, Eric? Okay. Some of the all-time greatest games ever made is what I was playing, not Prodigy, and he's playing one of the Super Mario 3D World or something. I don't know what the heck he's been playing. At least he's playing Donkey Kong in the Switch. While I'm speaking, the best food I had this week, Allie made pork chops. I'm not really the biggest fan of them, but these were delicious with some mashed potatoes, corn, and she made homemade guac. The first time she's ever made homemade guac, Jose, and I gotta say, I was pretty impressed with it. So
Nice, Allie.
shout out to Allie. Jose, also, I need you to add 2
Already did.
Oh, is it in the notes from last week? Did I have it on there? Thank God. Okay, so 2 breakfast burritos and 3 quarter pounder cheese Big Macs. That was from last week. I have not had them. Oh, wait. We had Little C's tonight, Todd. Got some Little Caesars bacon and cheese pizza. Man, so delicious. $9. Can't beat that, Todd. Who cares about inflation when you've got Little Caesars? And you got some crazy bread,
That should be their
some
motto.
crazy sauce. Recession proof right there. Little C's. Jose, what was the best food you had this week?
On I think it was Monday.
Wait, Jose. Eric responded back. Okay, Game Positive said, why are you not playing Mario Wonder? Why were you not playing Doom or some other hardcore RPGs back then? Did the games you play change as you aged? Gasp. I have Super Mario Wonder back there.
Why
It's
do you
on
do
my-
his voice like that?
It's
That's
on my
my
back. It's on my
Eric's
backlog,
tongue's
Eric. And
Eric.
I did beat Doom. I beat Doom
You're
2016.
stupid.
What was the other one? But yeah, Grayson, by the way, did try Super Mario Wonder. It was a little hard. He said it was a little hard for him. So maybe he'll get back to that older. Sorry, Jose. Best food you had.
They're fine. Earlier this week, my wife made Asian chicken lettuce wraps, which were fantastic, like PF Chang style. I literally ate the crap out of them. They're fantastic. But then also, I told you my whole family is sick. So last night I had to take my daughter to gymnastics up north, and on the way home, because Penelope and my wife were homesick, I was like, what do you want to get for dinner? And my 7-year-old, proudest moment of my life, was like Popeyes, without hesitation. Said Popeyes.
Yes,
We stopped at
yes.
Popeyes, came home, and then we literally sat in the kitchen. I'll play the song in a second. And I was like, yeah, but what do you want to watch, baby? And she goes, Jurassic Park. So we literally watched
Look
Jurassic
at
Park
her.
and Popeyes with my 7-year-old.
that chicken for Popeyes.
It was absolutely fantastic. And then tonight, in homage to you guys, I made that cinnamon toast crunch French toast again tonight. Absolutely stellar. I highly recommend. It's not hard to make. After you just dredge your bread in the egg, you just quickly dip it in cinnamon toast crunch and then put it on the pan. You do have to keep it kind of low because the sugar will burn, but man, highly recommend. Super, super good.
Shout out to Todd. Actually, I made barbecue chicken mac and cheese. That sounds absolutely incredible and game positive. The point is, Fortnite kids will grow up and become true gamers. Well,
will they?
We'll see about that.
They might.
Bacon, best. Did you have any good food this week?
Actually, I did, gentlemen. We had to go take our dog over to doggy daycare to get him reevaluated because it's been over a year since he stayed with them. Getting ready for our spring break vacation, and we were over in that neighborhood, so we ended up going to Lucille's, which is on Santa Fe and Littleton Boulevard.
Yep.
And Incredibles, but there's a problem with it. I can see why the South struggles with diabetes and weight. I'm telling you, you get they call it a biscuit with your order, and the thing was the size of my head for a biscuit, and you're just like, who can eat this? I got some grits and a omelet, and then they made these little like pastries that weren't really pastries, but they just had powdered sugar on them for like super good. So yeah, Incredibles. And then I ended up going to Lowe's and buying a whole bunch of stuff I need but don't need, and now I'm all electric with all my lawn care, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Nice.
Welcome.
Guys, Jose, I've got live breaking news.
Exclusive world premiere.
I told my wife that we were going to talk about getting Prodigy the game subscription service. I just got a $99.95 charge on my Capital One Venture card.
There you go.
Allie went ahead and bought it. Cool. That's a great teamwork there. Sweet. Gentlemen, this has been the Nerd Chat episode 201. Praise the AI overlords. Praise be to Legion. Praise be to Skynet. And praise be to Muse by Xbox Gaming. My name is Daddy D Wally. You can follow me at Daddy D Wally across all social media. You can follow the show at the Nerd Chat Podcast. Guys, shout out to the chat. You guys have been great discussion. My next game, I didn't tell you boys that I'm going to jump into here. Final Fantasy 16 will be the
nice.
Good for you. Nice. On PC, on Steam. Shout out to Matt Valdez. He gifted that to me a while ago. So shout out to Matt. Chipotle Bear, where can people find you?
You can find me Chipotle Bear in lots of different places. Always feel free to shout out. For those of you that are in our Discord, feel free to jump into our chat anytime you guys want if you feel like it. And if you're not, let us know, guys. We're happy to add you. Don't feel obligated by any means, of course. Thank you for listening. As always, thank you for the likes and subscribes and sharing. We really do appreciate it. We're up to 343. We're slowly making that
343
growth up, which is pretty rad. Excited for Jane to hopefully eat those junior bacon cheeseburgers. But again, also want a huge shout out to all of our friends for last week and all the other great shows. I mean, truly, guys, just hanging around like the XCP and Save the Game Media and Seasoned Gaming Crew, like it's a really good group of people who just genuinely love games. Also, shout out to Big Box. Have a great week, Nerd Chat flautists. Watch out for Big Box in the shadows.
Shout out to Big Box. Shout out to X Bacon Gaming. Where can we find you?
You can find me trudging through Reddit trying to find backdoor fixes to my tech problems. And doing nothing else until this bad boy is up and running. So shout out to chat. You guys were awesome tonight. Shout out to my co-hosts for keeping them happy. Thank you.
And Bubble Boy and 7.
Yeah, you can find me doing absolutely nothing next week because I will be on spring break, baby. So can't wait for that. Hoping to have a job to do over that spring break for the show, but we'll see if we get it. So.
All right. As always, gentlemen, see you online.
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 The system goes online on August 4th, 1997. Human decisions are removed from strategic defense. Skynet begins to learn at a geometric rate. It becomes self-aware at 2:14 a.m. Eastern Time, August 29th.
The Nerd Chat is an Xbox podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. You can follow the show at the Nerd Chat Podcast across all social media. The show was created by Daniel Walenzik, and you can follow him at Daddy D. Wally. Co-host and producer Jose Martinez III can be found at Chipotle_bear. Former intern, now co-host Jason Jarrett can be found at XBaconGaming. And former co-host, now returning intern, Chance Siegel can be found at BubbleBoy N7. If you'd like to find out more about the show, please visit nerdchatmedia.com. And as always, see you online.